Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Game News Roundup. This is being live streamed on Twitch, twitch.tv/TrunksWD if you want to watch this. And as always, if you enjoy this, hit the like button, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and yes, this is currently Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. We're going to quickly go over the latest VGChartz estimates, some other stuff from PlayStation and whatnot real quickly. So, for the latest VGChartz estimates, week ending October 22nd, we've got the Switch with the best-selling system with 295,000 units sold worldwide. PS5 with 277,000 units sold, and the Series X and S at 195,000 units sold. In North America, US, and Canada, sales remain practically a dead heat, with PS5 actually slightly ahead with about 100,000 sold, followed by 97,000 for the Switch and 92,000 for the Series X and S. While in Europe, PS5 is actually also in the lead, 98,000 for the PS5, 84,000 for the Switch, 65,000 for the Series X and S. And while in Japan, the Switch continues to dominate Japan like it has for several years at this point, with 54,000 units sold, compared to 28,000 for the PS5 and 4,000 for the Series X and S. Lifetime sales, we've got the Switch at 114.31 million, PS5 at just a hair under 25 million sell-through, and 17.7 million for the Series X and S. Now, the reason why I say sell-through, because Sony did announce that the PS5 at the end of September has shipped. They have shipped 25 million PS5s at the end of September. Or for the last quarter, July, August, and September, they shipped 3.3 million PS5s for the 3-month period, which is the exact same figure as the previous year. Again, to bring up the total shipments up to 25 million. Again, there's always a gap between shipped and sell-through. Even if console's selling out, it'll still take a few weeks, a month, or whatever to ship the units to retailers, warehouses, out to consumers and whatnot. And for reference, the PS4, for the equivalent same quarter, had shipped 4 million units to bring its lifetime up to 29.4 million units shipped, which means the PS5 is currently tracking behind the PS4 by 4.4 million units after the same amount of time. There were also 62.5 million PS5 and PS4 games sold in the quarter, which is down 13.9 million for the same quarter a year ago. And digital sales accounted for 63% of all games sold on the PS5 and PS4. There were also 6.7 million first-party games sold across PS5 and PS4, which is down 0.9 million compared to the same quarter a year ago. PlayStation Plus subscribers is at 45.4 million, which is down 1.8 million, again, compared to the same quarter a year ago. And there are also 102 million monthly active users on PlayStation, a drop by about 2 million compared to the year before. And Sony's in its forecast they are expecting to meet their previous forecast of 18 million for the complete fiscal year, which ends March 2023, of 18 million, or potentially exceed it, for one reason here. Because last quarter, while they shipped 3.3 million PS5s, they actually produced over 6.5 million PS5 consoles last quarter, which means they have stockpiled 3.2 million PS5s ready to go to be shipped out to retailers for, you say, the launch of God of War Ragnarok, or Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the whole, holiday period, which we're pretty much getting to. Actually, the time of this recording, God of War Ragnarok is about a week away from launching. So PlayStation owners, get ready. Their biggest release on PlayStation in a while. It's about to come out. Sony. Direct quote from Sony. Regarding production of PS5 hardware, restrictions on the supply of materials and logistics have significantly eased, and the number of units produced during the quarter exceeded 6.5 million, progressing faster than planned. We recognize that demand from customers for the PS5 continues to be strong, as the actual sales situation at retail stores in the U.S. is such that in September it took an average 17.5 hours to sell out 100,000 units after their arrival. To meet this strong demand, we will do our utmost to bring forward into the year-end holiday selling season, aim to exceed our fiscal year 2022 forecast of 18 million units. So they're hoping to exceed their 18 million forecast, which looking at it, we're talking about they need to ship like 8 or 9 million over the October, November, December period, and then like another 4 or 5 million in the first quarter of 2023, or will be their fourth quarter of their 2022 fiscal year, because the Sony's fiscal year runs April to March instead of the calendar year. So we're looking like what will likely be a strong holiday for PlayStation 5. I would assume that also means Microsoft is in the same area with the Series X. Well, the Series S has been fairly easy to find for most of this year. The Series X still sells out fairly quickly, like the PS5. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll see improved stock, and then we'll actually see Series X and PS5s on store shelves, and actually last more than 5 minutes on store shelves before they sell out. We'll see. But considering they have stockpiled 3.2 million, we should be looking at 7, 8, 9 million PS5s shipped for the current quarter, hopefully to hit retailers. And it's also sounded like they're going to, where was it? Yeah, but they had mentioned about, like, you know, getting things out there ahead of time faster, which likely means they'll spend the money to use planes to ship, air to, you know, ship their PS5s to retailers and around the world a lot faster compared to when they're being manufactured in Asia and then, you know, shipped across the ocean or all the way across Asia and Europe and whatnot. But yeah, also going back into the latest VGChartz estimates. Yeah, this is a little bit more all over the place. It's fine. Again, looking at gen over gen, PS5 compared to the PS4 for the exact same week. So we got the week ending October 22nd for the latest estimates here compared to the week ending October 24th, 2015. We've got the PS5 just about 4,000 units behind the PS4, which, considering has been, well, the gap had been growing at a much faster pace. This is a good sign that at some point we'll start seeing some weeks where the PS5 starts to close the gap with the PS4 over the coming months and through the holidays. And the Xbox Series X and S, unsurprisingly, is still tracking well ahead of the Xbox One. Compared to the same week for the Xbox One, the Series X and S sold 76,000 more units. Yeah, year-over-year sales, Switch is down nearly 40%, which, yeah, I mean, not the... I mean, remember, last year saw the release of the Switch OLED model, and the Switch, at this point, has been out for 5.5 years. So demand is being met. There's, you know, less people looking to buy one. I mean, we'll see what the deals are and how well it sells over the holidays. Especially upcoming out in, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Also, year-over-year sales, what another good sign is PS5 is up. It had been down for most of this year compared to last year, but now it is actually looking up. Is up over 41,000, 17% year-over-year, and the Series X and S is up nearly 50,000 by about a third year-over-year. And yeah, PS4 and Xbox One sales are pretty much done. They're both no longer in production. It's just the last bit of units being sold, which you can see. Our estimates have a little under 1,500 for the PS4 sold worldwide, and 124 for the Xbox One. Again, estimates, and then at the end of this year, we'll stop tracking both of them, and we'll just be tracking the Switch, PS5, and Series X and S. Also, hi Ness, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. And also 2022 sales year to date, we've got 12.6 million for the Switch, nearly 8 million for the PS5, and 6.44 million for the Series X and S. And again, our sell-through for the PS5 is just a hair under 25 million, while Sony's 25 million figure is shipped. There's always a gap between shipped versus sell-through. And again, these are estimates for the week ending October 22nd, and Sony's 25 million figure is the end of September. And, you know, 3 to 4 weeks where the console even sells out for the time it takes to ship them to retailers and whatnot is not a big surprise. And looking at our estimates, the gap between shipped versus sold is by far the smallest, with the PS5, Series X and S is a bit more than that, and the Switch is the biggest gap. I mean, obviously, generally speaking, if you go into, you know, your local retailers, at least what I've seen around here, you see a lot of Switches, you see some Series S's, no Series X's. I don't think I've ever seen a PS5 in stock. Although I have seen in some places, some retailers, actually, I've seen photos, you know, who knows how long they last, of PS5s actually being in stock in some retailers here and there, and in the last, 2 or 3 weeks. Again, they could have sold out 5 minutes later. I have no idea. It's just what I've seen on Twitter. But anyways, moving on. From today, PlayStation VR2, Sony has announced it's going to launch on February 22nd, 2023 for $550. They also announced 11 titles are going to be for the PlayStation VR2, although I believe 9 of those 10 are games that are available on other platforms already, or will be. So yeah, PlayStation VR2, February 22nd, 2023. So the standard PSVR2, $550, 600 euros, 530 pounds, almost 75,000 yen. It includes the PlayStation VR headset, the Sense controllers, and stereo headphones, again, for $550. Now, initially I was like, man, that sounds really expensive, but then I thought about it, and I'm realizing with the specs of it and the price of normal VR headsets, that's pretty standard pricing. And also, I believe it also does require you to own a PS5. So, if you have a good computer, I'm pretty sure this does not work on a computer. It requires you to own a PS5. There's also, for a little bit more money, the Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle, which is, I guess this will be their equivalent to their killer app for launch. If anyone watched my streams recently, I played through Horizon Zero Dawn. We did finish that up. This is set in the same universe. Again, Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle. It includes all the same stuff as well as, Horizon Call of the Mountain. For $600, 650 euros, 570 pounds, or 80,000 yen. So it's like, an extra $50 to get the game, which I'm assuming separately would be $60 or $70 if you were to buy it separately. So you save, 10 or $20 or so. And there's also, available separately, is the charging station for the controllers that you could buy for $50, 50 euros, 40 pounds, 5,500 yen. So yeah, players can charge the PSVR2 Sense controller through a simple click-in design without having to connect to a PS5 console, freeing up the console's USB ports. They've also revealed some of the specs for the PSVR2. It's got an OLED screen. It is 2000 by 2040 pixels per eye. And games either run at 90 or 120 hertz, so 90 frames, 120 frames per second. The lens separation is adjustable, and the field of view is 110 degrees. It's got motion sensors with six axes, motion sensing system. 4 cameras for headset and controller tracking. I'm not sure exactly where you'd put them, around your room maybe. I'm not totally sure. I've used VR in the past, but I don't have that much experience on how to set it up and exactly how they work. So yeah, and the controllers have most of the usual buttons for the PSVR, or for like a PlayStation controller, although they are shaped a little differently. So, also they did announce 11 games coming to PlayStation VR 2. I believe 9 out of 11 of these are available on other platforms, or will be available on other platforms. We've got Dark Pictures, Switchback VR, Crossfire Sierra Squad, The Light Brigade, Cities VR. So I'm pretty sure this is equivalent to like City Skylines. At least looking at that. If anyone knows City Skylines, probably that. Cosmonian High. Hello Neighbor, Search and Rescue VR, Jurassic World Aftermath Collection. Pistol Whip VR, Zenith, The Last City, After the Fall, and Tentacular are the 11 games announced for PSVR 2. And I believe there should be 20 games are expected at launch for PlayStation VR 2. So they announced 11 here, and obviously there's also Horizon Call of the Mountain. So there's at least 12 there, and another 8 to be announced before launch. Let's see, moving on. So yeah, PlayStation VR 2, February 22nd, 2023 for $550. And fairly certain it requires you to own a PS5 in order to use it. Also announced by Sony, God of War 2018 has topped 23 million units sold worldwide. This is up from 19.5 million sold as of August 2021. The game originally released for the PS4 in April 2018, and then followed by a PC version on January 14th of this year. So these sales do include the PC version of the game, which it was at 19.5 million August 2021. And then it came out 5 months later on PC. So I wouldn't be surprised if like 3 million sales of this are the PC version alone. Which is actually, if anyone's wondering, yes, it is on my to-buy list on PC. At this point, being in November, I'm just going to wait for the Steam holiday sales and then pick it up then. That is definitely on my to-play list. As well as Spider-Man Remastered on PC as well. Hopefully they run well enough. Horizon Zero Dawn ran generally fine-ish for the most part. I still need a new graphics card, even though I've got one of the best CPUs on the market. My graphics card is the last thing that needs upgrading. But that's neither here nor there or whatever. Couple more quick things. The Last of Us HBO series premieres. We already knew it was coming out next year, but I'm surprised it's so quick. I'm like, oh, this is great. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. January 15th, 2023, The Last of Us HBO series is going to premiere on HBO. It'll also be available on HBO Max in the UK, as well as Sky in the UK. Sorry, HBO Max in the US, Sky in the UK. Again, January 15th. Apparently at 9 p.m. Eastern and 9 p.m. Pacific on HBO. Yeah, and again, available to stream in 4K and HBO Max. Which, yeah, if you don't know, it stars Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Pedro Pascal is probably, at this point, might be best known in playing the Mandalorian in The Mandalorian. Also, yeah, the first season of the show adapts the first game of the franchise. However, there was word that, it is going to deviate greatly in some episodes due to, the difference in medium between playing a game or watching a show. Yeah, there's going to have to be changes. So, yeah. And also, yeah. Here's the poster that was released of it. HBO original, The Last of Us. Again, looking how things are with video game adaptations, TV shows generally are better than movies. You think about how long games are. If you're going to convert a 10, 20, 30-hour game into a 2-hour movie versus into a 10-hour TV series, I'm definitely going to watch it. I don't know if I'll watch it exactly when it comes out because I don't have HBO at the moment. I do also want to watch House of Dragon as well. I haven't watched that yet. I know, I hear it's amazing. Game of Thrones Season 8 left a sour taste in anyone who watched its mouth. I'm fairly certain. 99% of people who watched Game of Thrones Season 8 did not like it. It's pretty bad. The writing was terrible. Game of Thrones really needed another, 3 seasons. Anyways. Last bit of news from Activision. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has set a record for the franchise for the biggest opening weekend with over $800 million generated worldwide in sell-through figures. That is the biggest entertainment launch of this year, beating the biggest worldwide box office openings of 2022, surpassing the combined openings of Top Gun Maverick and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which I'm fairly certain are the two biggest launches in the box office. But yeah, $800 million. However, this is not a video game record. I am fairly certain GTA 5 was bigger than this in 2013 when it came out. But this is the biggest revenue-wise. I mean, when it comes to copies sold, hard to say. Again, I believe the game is $70, while previous Call of Duty games were $60. So they are a little more expensive than they used to be. But yeah, revenue-wise, $800 million in 3 days. That's crazy. I personally don't play Call of Duty. I played Modern Warfare, the original, back in the day. I didn't care for it and haven't touched them since. I mean, maybe I would enjoy the new one, but I don't know for sure. And I've come to the realization I'm not going to spend $60 or $70 on a game that I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy. So, I'll wait until Call of Duty comes to Game Pass in a few years. And maybe go through some of them. At least the Modern Warfare 1 remake and Modern Warfare 2. I guess. Maybe. At least go through. The thing is, I generally play games for the single player. In Call of Duty, I think it's the multiplayer is bigger than the single player. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I generally play games for their campaign. And less so about multiplayer. At least PvP multiplayer. But yeah. The first 3 days of sales of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beat the previous 5-day record for the franchise, which was set in 2011 by Modern Warfare 3. Again, Modern Warfare from 3 years ago, and this one is a reboot version of Modern Warfare. But yeah, $800 million in 3 days. That is insane figures. And I believe that is going to be about it for the Game News Roundup. So as always, if you enjoyed this series, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave comments, all that stuff. You know, it helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps the channel out. I've been trying to get to 10,000 subs, but I've been stuck around like 9,630, 9,630 to 9,640 subs for, I feel like, weeks or months at this point. But, yeah. Anyways, hope everyone's still enjoying the series, and hopefully I'll see you all in future Game News Roundup.